All right, everybody, welcome back to Scratch the Vinyl. You guys came back for another one, and this is a special bonus edition for you guys here on. It'll be on YouTube. It's on everywhere. We're just kind of like, we're thankful that you guys are listening, and we're just so glad to have the success that we've had so far. So I've got Randy and Brooke in studio right now, and I couldn't feel any better. So I'll just start with Brooke. Brooke, how the heck are you? Welcome to the studio. You've been here a couple times. What do you think of it?
For one, I love this studio, and I know that Christmas and Thanksgiving, but there's that mask back there that I really like the holiday spirit. We need some lights on there, maybe a little Christmas tree with skulls. But I really love your studio. I think it is very eclectic, and yeah, we just need to get maybe a skeleton with some lights on him or something.
Well, it's weird having you guys in studio because a lot of times we'll cut these at our houses. We'll do different things, but I mean, I wanted the energy of having you guys in the room, and another guy, big energy guy. We all know him. You know him too, and if you don't know him, get to know him right now. The Godzilla of entertainment, Randy Wilson. Welcome back to the studio.
Hi guys, happy Thanksgiving, and what a great day to be in the studio. Of course, getting to cut an episode with you guys is always a great day. And I love the studio because it has almost all my favorite albums in it. So, so thank you, Kane, for having us all in today.
Naturally, man. I mean, I wish we could do it more, but it's like, it's not a massive studio. It's really just big enough for me and my dogs and maybe like an extra person. So it's always wild when you like squeeze people in here. Like if I got a band in here, it would be like absolute mayhem.
Kane, I've been to some green rooms that are smaller than this, and at least 50 people are in there. You'll be fine.
This is what I assume the women's bathrooms like at all times at every bar, right?
To be honest, I think the men's is worse because you guys have like all these different sections. You can like, you have this toilet, whatever. But no, the women's is not as bad, I don't think. You men like to congregate as well.
Well, for music lovers, this is the ultimate man
Yes,
cave.
it is.
I tell you what. Great sound studio to listen to your favorite stuff. I can only imagine how much time you get away in here.
Well, really all day long. It's so strange because I'm a stay-at-home dad now, and so my days consist of hanging out with the dogs, taking the kids to school, getting my wife, shoving her out the door, and all of that type of stuff. And then it's like it's just all day in here producing, doing things for the show. So it's really nice. I like to create a space that really feels like something to me. So that's why when people come in here, it seems like everybody kind of has an experience. And now we get to give you guys all the experience. Usually in the videos, you see like a small portion of the studio. Now you're getting to see like a good majority, or at least half of it, right? So I don't know. I'm thankful for this studio to start. I know we're going to get into that on the show here in a moment, but there's just so many things to be thankful for, and this studio is one of them.
We're thankful for you, Kane, for having the studio. And Randy, I'm thankful for you too. I'm thankful for my boys so much. I wouldn't be here.
You are the rose between two thorns. That's what we say.
It's not an easy spot to be in, but somebody has to be there, Brooke.
I think that's why God gave me 3 boys. It's all good.
Well, I mean, happy Thanksgiving, everybody, and let's get into it today, guys.
Let's do it. Let's first off start with the success of the show and why we owe it all to you guys. Let's we hit a milestone here. We hit 1,000 downloads faster than any podcast in the history of podcasts. Well, I don't know if that's true or not, but
and maybe for Lincoln, Nebraska, maybe.
We definitely hit it like super fast, and we owe it all to you guys. You guys are listening to all the shows. I keep checking the stats. We have listeners. Can you believe it? I see the stats in Germany. We have listeners in Switzerland. I don't know what the hell they're doing listening to us there, but we appreciate you guys. We have some in the Netherlands. We have them all over the place, and we just owe it all to you guys. And I hope that the content that you guys are getting from us is what you enjoy. We would love for you to get on and email us at scratchthevinylpodcast@gmail.com. Tell us what you guys think. If you're listening on Apple, get over there and throw a review on there on any of the formats really that you're on. Give us a good review. If you do, hey, I'll eventually, if we get stickers or something, I'll send you a sticker, or I'll come hang out in your garage or for far too long until your old lady tells me to leave. So we really do appreciate you guys listening. What do you guys think about that? I mean, Brooke, can you believe that we hit 1,000 downloads in like record time?
When you texted me that, I literally like was screaming, and my fiance is like, "What's wrong? What's going on?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, this is 1,000!" He goes, "1,000 what?" And then when I told him the news, I was like, even my kids came out. They're like, "Good job. That's awesome." I mean, I am so grateful to be on this show. This is something I'm very passionate about, and I am thankful that you guys asked me to do this, even though sometimes I don't make a lot of sense, but it's still fun. Thankful you put up with me.
Well, I think music transcends everywhere. That's why we can get listeners from all over the world. But we've been very fortunate to have some great guests on the show, some great interviews, tapping into the, literally the vitality of what our city, state, and what, music brings to people. And, really that's why we do Scratch the Vinyl.
Absolutely. And, not only is it the 1,000 downloads, that's just people downloading the show. There's thousands of listeners who are listening and checking in, and we're just doing a fantastic job only because of you guys. It's not like we have this magic secret sauce. I mean, we all are good in our own ways, but we couldn't do it without you guys. So I really do appreciate you guys. But let's kind of talk about those guests that you're referring to, Randy. I kind of want to talk about like some of our favorite moments, and this doesn't mean that we didn't like the other moments, but I have some moments that I can recall, and I think you guys do too, of people who we've talked to. For me personally, talking to Richard Bretta and getting to know him and talking to him like before about like his heart issues. I mean, let's be honest here. Richard had a massive heart attack in a boat. I mean, Richard fell down and was dead for a moment, right? And here he is back here. He's fighting back. He's getting strong. He's going to be back in the music world. And it's just fantastic to talk to him because I too struggle with my heart issues, and I can only imagine. So it's wonderful to have a friend to lean on. And for me, that was a great moment, was starting the Broken Hearts Club with him.
Yeah, absolutely. I knew Richard for quite a while, but don't see him that often. And then, hearing his story, how much it touched me and a lot of our friends. So many people came up to me afterwards and said, "Oh man, I haven't seen Richard in a long time," and didn't know that happened to him. And then to see the support come out from everybody, and then even Richard reached out to me. We're talking about those old days at the skating rink, and really always goes back to that love of music. And we really appreciate having him on the show.
I'd agree. He's probably he's one of my dearest friends, and I've known him for a while, and he is probably, well, all of our guests are kind people, but I know him very well, and he is a very, very kind person, and I can't wait to go to his fundraiser. I think it's the 12th, December 12th at Tanks.
Yeah, which is a Thursday, but that's okay because you can party on Thursday, maybe take off Friday, make yourself a nice long weekend, and go hang out for a good cause, right?
We want to specify that's Tank South, correct?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, absolutely, Randy.
Just let any of our listeners that want to go out and support that cause, Tank South. So,
and well, the cool thing about that particular gig is that they have a band that we've been blabbing about forever, right? And I just talked to the drummer last night from Hell to Pay, and it looks like eventually we're probably going to try to get him on the show here very soon. Hope maybe even before the benefit would be cool. But if not, we'll at least talk to them and chat it up. Yeah, either before or after. So go see Hell to Pay anyways. They're just a fun band. There's a lot of great bands out there, and I want you guys to reach out to us too. But Hell to Pay seems to be one of those that are a fan favorite right now.
Well, I just had a chance to catch him on Friday night this last week out at Matson's. And let me tell you what, after their one break, they had everybody in the place doing a conga line through the whole place. And so they definitely are a fan favorite and get the crowd going.
The conga line's kind of a pro move, honestly.
It is a pro move.
I wish that I had done. I know in some small towns like a conga line had broke out, and so, but it was never like initiated by me. Like, why not? If you're the guy who's putting on the chaos, why wouldn't you just get everybody in a conga line?
Well, there's a difference between like 10 people in a conga line to
Well,
200 people in a conga line. Like, it stopped the whole place.
Or just yourself. I've done that.
Everybody conga line. So you look around like, come on.
Just you with some.
I think that's Brooke every Wednesday night before karaoke.
I always think there's people behind me.
That's Brooke at Kelly's. She starts a conga line of 3 like every hour on the hour.
Yeah, or conga line out the door. It is closing time.
Well, for me, we've had quite a few special moments on the show so far with a lot of guests, especially when it comes to bringing back old memories and kind of reconnecting with people I haven't seen in a long time. And, probably E.J. Marshall, that was a great conversation. Just brought back some of the early days of when I got into the business and some of the stuff we went through, especially with music and having bands and promoting bands. Oh man, I couldn't thank him enough for kind of jogging my memory on a lot of that stuff.
You guys could have talked for hours.
We could have talked for hours.
Yes, that was so cool to listen to you guys and all your stories. And yeah.
And another probably one that kind of touched me music-wise was when we had the Prids on. And just that opportunity to go back and listen to some of their older albums and stuff that I listened to kind of in the early 2000s and mid 2000s, and then kind of even hearing their new stuff just kind of took me back into a kind of a place in time. Just the style and kind of that was kind of a time period where I was kind of listening to a lot of different stuff and trying to expand my horizons, and there was something about a couple of those songs that I really loved. And if those of you who've been following the show, if you've had an opportunity to to follow the Prids a little bit since we had them on the show,
they have some really cool music videos too.
They do,
yeah.
And you can catch some of their some of their recent performances, and so I really shout out to those guys for coming out. I mean, that was probably maybe our farthest interview.
Yeah.
Portland, Oregon, wasn't it? Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, and I actually got obsessed with one of their songs, which to this day now, as I listen to their whole catalog, Summer Cult, I listen to that. So I would guess, if I had to guess, I probably listened to it at least 150 times since. So I'm pushing those downloads and those streams for them just here alone. They're probably looking at their Spotify artists, and they're probably like, oh my gosh, somebody listened to Summer Cult, 150 some times.
You know what?
That's crazy.
Prids, you found your number one fan.
Absolutely. Dude, they just hit me in like the perfect spot. Like it really is. It has the cult like sound to it, which I'm obsessed with anyway. And it's just, there's a simplicity, but a beauty to their music. And it's not that the musicianship is fantastic. And that's what the good musicians do. They take something and they make it look so easy that you feel like you could pick up your guitar and play like them, and then you pick it up and you're fumbling around. It sounds like trash.
I know. We talked to him for about an hour on the show, and after listening to music again, I felt like I knew him for 20 years.
Yeah.
And Brooke literally
knew
him at some point for 20 some years.
Yeah,
but not on a close fashion. But it was really nice to catch up with them and see how they're doing, and we wish them the best.
Absolutely. And Brooke, what's amazing to me about all these guests is they all have a brush with Brooke. Like I always thought it was like the Kevin Bacon thing with Randy, like so many so many degrees of Randy, but it's really all so many degrees of Brooke for some reason.
Hey guys, so there's this lady that I met at the grocery store. Oh, actually, I'm not kidding. So I met somebody, and she's a DJ from the 70s. Yeah, anyways, but yeah, somehow, I don't
No,
know.
I say it all the time. I feel like I'm probably never less than 2 degrees separation from anybody in this area. And then you put the three of us together, and all of a sudden, we cast a pretty wide net when it comes to people in the industry, people in the music, people in business here in town. But that's what's awesome. We know a lot of people, and fortunately, we haven't made them all mad at us for anything that they want to come on the show and talk to us. So
Man,
we must be doing something right.
Yeah, I got people lined up. They're like, "Come on, I'd love you guys. Sound like so much fun. Are we fun, guys? We're not a mushroom. We're not fun guys, but we are fun guys. Woo!
We can be fun. You're fun. You're the ambassador of fun. I feel like the annoying nerd brother who's sitting in his room like fumbling around with like a calculator and all this stuff.
No, listen. At least you can spell.
Yeah.
Just
Kane,
kidding.
don't sell yourself short, man. You are the captain of the
Yes.
ship. You keep us rolling. I had many years of party fun time and hanging out. This is now my relaxed time, and I think for me it's a lot of reflection, and maybe that's the big Thanksgiving of it all is that I now get to even sense the reward of all the relationships and the connections that I've made over all the years, and it's Richard again. It's nice to see, even though some tragedy happened, that ultimately he's doing okay now, and fortunately we had the opportunity to sit back down with him and maybe realize again how life is short, and that's enough to be thankful right there.
It is. Well, this show has been so great for me because it helps me to look back at like all the accomplishments and things I've done in music and everything, and karaoke. I look at it fondly now. I stopped looking at it fondly, and I would actually be like embarrassed to talk to people like, oh no, did I get so wasted I threw up all over myself? But no, it was more of that. It was like I think about like battling with different bands over some spot, right? And getting bickering amongst ourselves. And I just hate, and it kind of ruined it for me. But then as I look back and I go through this show and I talk to all these musicians, I'm like, I loved what I did. Like that was an amazing time for me as a person and just the growth that I've had. So this show has just helped me to grow a lot. So I've loved it all the way.
Kane, do you think some of it had to do with as well, like you were talking with Richard, you guys are in the Broken Heart Club, and you did have a life-changing thing happen to you, and I really honestly believe when something like that happens, it does change who you are and your outlook on life or your accomplishments, and you kind of get an attitude of, you know what, let's live this day like it's my last, because it could be. And I feel like, I don't know, Kane, but do you kind of feel like that has something to do with it? Like just going through something so big?
It definitely does. I mean, I know Randy has had health issues in the past too, and he's had time to reflect. And for me, that was the big aha moment for me. It was like, there's a good possibility that I could not be around. So I really need to make the best of it. So if you guys get anything out of the episode with Richard, go back and listen to it. And I mean, I cried. I could get teary right now, but I'm going to fight it off. Just thinking about it, I cried talking to Richard because it was just so heartwarming to me, and just thinking about my family and how much I love them, and what I want to leave for them. It's stuff like this where they can go on YouTube and they can watch my thoughts and the things that I did, and they can look fondly. We didn't have that. Like I think of like my grandpa and different people that were like great men and great people. My grandma, aunts, uncles, people who are gone. I wish that I could go back and get onto YouTube or get onto Spotify or something and just listen to them talk and laugh with them. And it's almost like they're there. So for me, that's a great question, Brooke. It really did change everything for me, and it made me stop sweating the petty things and petting the sweaty things. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Like that
100%.
sort of deal. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm gonna touch on something that I wasn't sure I would touch on today, but since you kind of bring that up, my cousin Donnie Adams, most commonly known as DA around this area, was probably one of my earliest inspirations, whether I knew it or not. Going to see his band play when I was a kid, and his love for music, and then over the years and what he's done. I may have not have been close to him all the time, but there was a time period when our family was close in that way, and growing up as a kid, you don't realize how good you have it sometimes until it's all gone. Well, unfortunately, my cousin Donnie has stage 4 cancer and is not doing well right now. So a lot of prayers go out to him and his immediate family. And we kind of learned some news over the weekend that time is coming quicker. They just inducted him into the Music State Hall of Fame. He was inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame here with the Lincoln Stars. Donnie was very big when it comes to the sound and lighting, which started the Stars here in Lincoln. When the arena was started, he's the guy when it comes to sound and lighting for the arena, for Pinewood Bowl, for the State Fair. I can't say enough how much that we love him, and want to support the family during this time, especially through the holidays. It's even rougher, and it's just again, we start to look back and reflect, and such an impact. And I really got to notice it a lot more when we started having a lot of these interviews, and we'd be talking and be like, oh yeah, I played in Donnie's garage. Those who know. And so big shout out to my big cuz. Love you. And, my heart goes out to everybody in the family that's dealing with that right now. So didn't mean to bring everything down, but wanted to give a shout out, for, during this time of the holidays.
Randy, I think you make a good point, though. I know that, sometimes I feel like, oh, I'm Debbie Downer or something, but you're not. You're giving a beautiful thought to someone that is here, and you want to let them know that before it's too late. And I've had this week a few things that had happened that were, very eye-opening. A dear friend of mine passed away. My son's puppy passed away. And so it's not the fact that I'm Debbie Downer this, but we really came together and we really appreciate who they were, and really hone in on being so thankful for this moment you do have. And like Kane said, I wish I had more videos or more things. We have those ones that didn't have any sound, and you see like grandma on there and her son, my uncle, had a pet monkey, which you can't hear anything, but it's just, you can still see them. And I'm grateful for that. And one thing that social media and all these things, they do let us go back and see it. It really does, I think, help a lot of people for people that are gone, to reminisce and be grateful for today, even for yourself, like, I'm still alive, I'm still here. And a lot of times we take that for granted, and we get our panties in a wad for crap that doesn't even matter. And I've been practicing and trying to hone in on that a lot more. And being on Scratch the Vinyl, it has opened up so many doors, meeting new people and hearing new stories and getting to know some beautiful, amazing, awesome people. And I'm so grateful for that. And if you're listening, I'm grateful for you. Randy's grateful for you. And Kane, are you great? Yeah, Kane's grateful.
I'm definitely. I'm more than you guys know. This keeps me going. This gives me purpose. Not that my taking care of my kids and this keeps me kind of alive. It really ignites my playing music, recording. It pushes me to get my stuff out there. It's been fantastic. You guys nailed it, and I really do feel for you, Randy, and your family during this time. I also have a cousin who, is not, she's getting pretty close with some of her stuff, and it's just so hard. I just had a conversation with an old friend, and I grew up in Air Park and in that area of Lincoln, and it's just like it's like every other week we're losing somebody, and I just think about, oh my gosh, like all these people are gone in my childhood. It's just so wild to see that. So please kiss your loved ones, give them a call after this, tell them that you care. If you're sitting with them at the Thanksgiving table or whatever you're doing and you're listening to Scratch the Vinyl, go ahead and give Aunt Shirley a big old kiss on the lips or whatever you got to do. But just be thankful, everybody, and by God, be thankful for music, because music pulls us all out of it. Music pulls the nose up when you're going down. It has got me through everything. So let's transition into something. Let's transition into something else we're thankful for, which is like, can you guys think of any albums in particular or a song? I mean, give me anything. I'll start with Randy first on one of those that you're thankful for that has always been your go-to when you needed it.
Oh, go to. Well, I will say there was a time that the the best of the Beatles album, or that collection, I used to have it on CD. That I think everybody finds the Beatles at some point in their life, and you you ultimately realize how great they were. You don't have to be current to go back and listen to great music and go, wow, those lyrics catch me, or that melody catches me some way. But during the holiday time, years ago, like, I would play that CD over and over again, because I mean, there's literally 30 number one hits on there. And then I would probably throw in John Lennon's last solo album, kind of a nostalgic way of just kind of living through that moment or that time. Just those probably were my go-to for quite a while, to kind of find my inner peace with music and life, and kind of see how I reflected on life. And so thank you, Beatles, for getting me through a long period of time.
I wonder how many people the Beatles have gotten through. Like, I think that if, of all bands that are going to make it, like Beethoven and all these, I think hundreds of years down the line, someone's going to still to be talking about the Beatles. I was just thinking about that the other day. Like, Paul McCartney's getting up there in age. There's going to come a point where, and I hope it's not anytime soon, where he's not going to be around anymore. That's going to be one of those where I don't usually get like a celebrity death. It doesn't necessarily affect me, but that one will affect me, because it'll be like, I can't believe this guy's no longer around. I had the same when Merle Haggard died on his birthday. I mean, like, talk about a legend, right? This guy lived forever. He was a true legend in music. He lived the life that Johnny Cash wrote about, and he was just unbelievable. The guy died on his birthday, and it was just like, guys like those just don't come around very often. So I definitely get what you're saying, Randy, with the Beatles.
Willie Nelson might be another one he's 93.
Yeah.
Like, he was inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame last year, and he's on stage there, and you're like, you think back and you're like, wow, you've known him your whole life, and here he is at 93, he's still up on stage, playing like a pro. I mean,
My kids are going to be 93 and he's still going to be around.
right?
He is like a vampire.
Paul McCartney for sure. I mean, he's in his 80s and still out there performing, and really ultimately living his best life still. Mm-hmm. And I think sometimes people underestimate, maybe, I think Paul can be kind of more humble now than he used to be. And I think he does enjoy the love and fan favorite now. now that time has passed. I think he enjoys it probably as much or more now than he ever has.
Well, let's not forget about Ringo, everybody. Ringo's still around and still doing the same stuff. He still looks great. And to be honest with you, I'm going to shove this in your face right now, everybody. Ringo's the best band pocket drummer in the world. Like if it wasn't for the way he did things, I mean, yeah, you could get any drummer, but Ringo gave it that certain flair. So we love you, Ringo. Don't go anywhere either, all right?
Yeah, sorry, Pete Best. We apologize. But Ringo did make it happen.
He did.
You heard it here from Scratch the Vinyl.
I don't think that's breaking
I
news
would.
anymore, but
We didn't break that one.
Yeah, well, I mean, is it though? We don't know. Come on now.
It's hard to
no,
tell.
we know.
Oh, okay.
If you know, you know. It's one of those.
It's not an opinion. It's a fact.
Brooke didn't listen to the Beatles growing up
I
like we
did
did.
too. I love the Beatles.
Then name one song, Brooke.
Really?
Here we go. This is my favorite part of the show where we put Brooke on the spot. Brooke, what do you got?
I almost said the
Come on,
yellow.
Brooke, we sing "Here
the
Comes
yellow
the Sun" almost.
And I almost said the yellow
every other
submarine
show.
because I'm sinking.
Smells like Teen Spirit. That was definitely one of theirs, right?
I was gonna say something like.
Did Nirvana cover one of
Yeah,
their,
I
one
was
of their
gonna.
songs?
Yeah, I was gonna try to. I couldn't even think of a different song just to screw with you guys. But speaking of people that you love, Brandi Carlile is one of my favorites, and her album, The Story, that has got me through a lot of stuff recently, and it's a beautiful song. You can relate if you're a child, if you're a married couple, or your parents. It's a really cool lyrical. Just all around, and they'll play it for me at the bar a lot of times. And Randy has one of his regulars will sing it for me, and I literally just say, "Everyone, be quiet. We're listening right now to her," and I'll videotape her. I think I have 80 videos of her singing, that poor girl. But it's a beautiful song, and then I feel like every stage of my life, though, when something happens, I find that album or that record or the song that really means something to me. Because I remember when I was 15 or whatever, and Alanis Morissette, I was like, yeah, and then she changed and went to India, and I was like, yes, calm, I love her. It just changes who I love just a plethora of music, but there are moments where I could listen to it over and over and over again and it never gets old.
Well, do you ever have a song that just kind of loops through your head when turmoil's going on? Like for me, it's it's Nutshell by Alice in Chains. Just the opening guitars of it and everything, just kind of I don't know, when something's going wrong, I like to displace myself from the situation for a second. And my mind, the way it works is it just music just comes blasting in, and that's one of those songs that really gets me when I have things going on.
Dude, I do that all the time. And when I wake up, this is the weirdest thing. 9 times out of 10, it's the song Afternoon Delight. Boo! And I don't know if that's something to do with the movie or the actual song or what happened last night. I don't know. But I love that song. I in the shower, I sing it all the time. I don't know why though.
Brooke, I'd love to. I always thought that I had a wild mind, and most people do, but I would love to skip around and like the Wizard of Oz in your mind for a while and just check it out.
That's
see
a
what it's like.
playlist. Holy cow!
Oh God!
You thought our Scratch the Vinyl podcast playlist is starting to get very eclectic. Brooks might be even weirder.
No, go
We'll
ahead.
try to make that happen. I'll just send you a list of lyrics and songs, and we can put them together. Dude, it'd be so messy. It'd be like Alice in Wonderland going down the rabbit hole.
Brooke, did you ever make mixtapes
Yeah.
to guys you liked and then gave it to them? I just want to know, did this ever happen?
I never gave it to them,
Oh,
but I did make a few, and it was usually me recording off of the radio. So I'm waiting for the DJ to stop talking, and I'm like, yeah, it's a perfect song. And then I'd call in and dedicate it to somebody. And
I mean, are we
but I
talking
keep it-
Whitesnake or what? What?
Yeah.
It was probably, like I said, like Bryan Adams. Everything I do it for you.
I got the sappy stuff. Okay,
yes.
I was wondering. I mean,
Well, and sometimes I would do some, I liked back in the day too, Cypress Hill and all those guys. And I would put that together. I loved that genre of it.
Well, let's not forget about the request lines, right? Like that's the part of radio that I truly miss. I wish that we could recreate that in some way where it was organic like it was. Like that was like the best part of childhood was like, man, I'm gonna tell Billy how I feel about her today. And I'd call in and I would request like the Titanic song, which is like a horrible song.
That was like a thing every Sunday night, listening
Yeah.
at home to the.
Well, it was KFRX. I remember my friend AJ was on there, and he'd always be like, "Is this Brooke?" I'm like, "Well, do you think this is? This is not Brooke." And he's like, "Hey, Brooke." I'm like, "Could you play?" And he knew us girls. We called all the time. Or do you remember Delilah? Whatever.
Oh yeah,
that was one.
Brooke, I think it was caller ID was
Yeah.
relevant at that time. Or you
Or
were
this
sitting in
of
the studio and he's like,
Yeah.
Brooke.
Brooke, I'm standing right here. Like, oh, whoops.
So we apologize to all the guys out there that Brooke sent love songs to every Sunday night.
I just.
Well, there you go. Everybody that's watching this on YouTube right now, this is Brooke in her natural form. So.
it is.
Hey guys.
And if you want to be in Brooke's mind, just take a bunch of LSD for a second, and then start listening to Pink Floyd, and somehow you'll do the whole Alice in Wonderland thing, and you'll drift into her mind, and it'll be amazing.
And Wilson Phillips will come on all of a sudden, or "Don't go chasing waterfalls." It'll just go on, and then we'll have Slayer. I don't know. It'll whatever.
Slayer playing Beatles hits, and
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I think our first real interview on the show, Noah Trumbull,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Pearl Parade, they're doing great. So we probably should give a shout out to Noah for helping us kick off our first real interviews here on the show.
That was really cool. He won the Battle of Bands, and that's coming up again.
Yeah.
Yep.
2 years in a row they won it.
Yeah.
And I think they're playing at the Bourbon pretty soon. I don't want to throw a date out there because I don't want to be wrong, but look it up, everybody, and just check out Pearl Parade in general because these guys are young, but I'm telling you, these are the it guys that if they keep going, they're going to be like the upper echelon of bands. Like these are guys that could like really make it, if you ask me.
I've noticed there's a lot of younger musicians actually coming out. Like a lot of my friends, or maybe I'm just old and I have friends now that have children that are in bands, but I've come across a few of them that I'm like, you guys are right on. Like they're serious. Like you see some kids that are like, oh, I picked the guitar up and I couldn't play it. Well, how long did you practice? Like 2 days. These guys are in it. Like Noah, they're talented kids, man.
Oh, I know a lot of them are listening right now. So I am going to give a big shout out to a lot of my regular followers that come out to my shows. And what really made me think of that at the moment of what you said is I have some really new young singers that have been coming up that are in bands and they're just super talented. And I don't know if they know that they're that good yet. They're still trying to figure out where they're at in life. But there is something about I really enjoy kind of maybe seeing that process of development. To me, there's that it factor. And some of these kids have that it factor. Like I really think they could go somewhere if they, they continue on with their music stuff. And I can't thank my regular crowds enough for this last couple of weeks. I tell you what, leading into the holidays, been very, very busy. And this is always the time, these holiday times, because people get days off, that I get to see people that maybe only come out a couple times a year. And so here's usually their opportunity to come out. And of course, when it's really busy, it's hard to really catch up with everybody. But it is, just so you guys know, I am very thankful even when you even come in and just say hi or just reconnect even for a few moments. So
He's not kidding. I've heard him say that. He'll talk about stories or people that have came in. He's like, oh my God, I haven't seen him forever. And We do. We get excited about that. And like when we working at the bar, there's so many times somebody will come in that I haven't seen forever. And I feel bad because I'm so busy. But, you know, it is good to see those people. It's
Always good to see him.
When you've shared some of those guys' stuff with me, and I'm honestly, I was blown away by it. Like when you told me how young they were, I was like, this is phenomenal. The guitar playing, just everything about it. So that's the thing about Lincoln, where we've been pumping it up for a while and we'll continue to, is Lincoln is an extremely talented area. It just is. Northeast Lincoln has a ton of talent. I know I give them crap, but I mean, I'm technically a North Sider too. I'm just a Northwest Sider, but it all counts. But we're here in the South Side now. But that, I mean, there's just so much talent in this town, and there should be. We have a lot of people here. It's the biggest small town in the world. You can really get to know people. So get to know some of these bands in a more intimate way when they're playing. Go to those shows with Randy, connect with these people, and get to know them on that level is fantastic.
I mean, we're just about 30 episodes into the podcast, and we're just barely scratching the surface. And me and Kane talk about this all the time, how a lot of things come full circle, and I feel like that's what's happening all the time right now. Every time we reconnect with someone else, it brings us back to the next, the next great guest or the next interview we should have. I mean, our lineup right now for the next couple months is going to be incredible. So I definitely am thankful for that. I mean, you guys make our jobs easier in a sense when it just comes to just staying connected with music here on Scratch the Vinyl.
So another thing that we're definitely thankful for, and we just have to mention, I mean, to me, every episode, if you don't fast forward through those, and I hope you don't, I always tell you guys that my favorite part of the show, not that I don't love the show, is talking about those sponsors and the ones that take care of us and keep the lights on for the show, so to speak. Not necessarily the lights in general, but you get what I mean. They take care of us, and they also take care of you guys in the community. So one of them that I want to talk about that I've been blabbing about forever is Roots Music Shop, is Ryan at Roots. It's I can't say enough about it, especially here with the holidays coming. I know you guys are going to be like tearing each other apart at Black Friday and all that stuff, and I hope you don't do that. But you guys could scoot on over to Roots Music. You could get your kid a guitar. You could give somebody the best gift, which is music. Like for me, being able to play music, grabbing that guitar when I'm sad, if I'm not putting on one of these great records, I'm just playing my guitar. I'm fumbling around with it until something sounds great. So get over there, buy that. If you don't play an instrument, like I always say, you look pretty cool with a couple guitars hanging up, right? You bring a chick over, they think that you're basically Slash. So get those guitars there, everybody. What do you guys know some of the other sponsors now? You guys got to know them. What do you guys think of, let's talk about some of the other sponsors.
Well, definitely want to thank Pat and Karen Gray down at Gray's Kegs. Again, they're big supporters of, local live and touring band music. Again, without good sponsors like them and good places for, bands to play, we wouldn't even have local music. So big shout out to them for what they're trying to do. And those of you who haven't caught the episode with Pat on it, Pat did a phenomenal job. He's very connected in the music, and I thought he brought a great perspective on, what they're doing over there and the kind of bands they're getting. And I think if you're into that kind of music, keep going and supporting those guys, and we really appreciate them.
Well, he's kind of the Billy Preston of the group, right? He's kind of the fifth Beatle or the fourth the fourth Scratch the Vinyl person. I'd love to bring him in and talk about music anytime. Like, I had a blast. I wish you guys could have been in the studio, but we would have been basically sitting on each other's laps, which would be cool too. But just talking to him about music, you feel how much this guy loves the local scene and just loves to listen.
He's the example of passion for music here in the local scene. So big shout out to him again. Thanks, Pat and Karen, for all you do and supporting not just Scratch the Vinyl, but, live music here in Lincoln.
agreed. Those are some cool ass people right there, and very knowledgeable and so welcoming. I love their bar. They do such great work for our community.
And owners of the Tam too.
Yeah.
Tam O'Shanters, now the Tam. I can't think of a better place to get prime rib in town. You got that small town feel. You can go there and get a burger for great price, and the feeling there too. It's just like at Gray's. There's just a certain like aura to it, and it feels fantastic. So I would suggest going there, then do a hop, skip, and a jump over to the Keg, and your night's pretty much filled up, isn't it?
And okay, I love them and I love going to bars, I love going to restaurants. Here is the other thing though. I want to talk about tattoos. Because I have a little tiny one right here and I have been scratching little things here. What do I want to do? What do I want to do? And I cannot make my mind up, but I know one of your buddies.
Yeah, I grew up with them, Bryce from Sliding Tattoo. I'm still working Randy into that dolphin, kind of like jumping over a rainbow into the sun tattoo on his lower back. I haven't got him quite there yet, but when he's ready, he assured me that he's going to go to Sliding Tattoo.
Well,
He already got it.
That'd be the reveal of the year, man.
you don't want to see where my Kiss Army tattoo is.
I do.
That'll be for the millionth listener of the show. If we could quantify it in some way, Randy will show you the Kiss Army tattoo if you want to. I mean, we need your consent, of course, but you're already a listener, so you're going to want to.
Well, I tell you what, if and when, okay, I'll say when, we reach 50,000 followers,
Okay.
50,000, I will get a new band tattoo on the other side.
It's on your butt cheek.
Listen,
The other side said it all.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
I could take this in so many devilish directions, but I won't.
Paul Stanley, lead singer of Kiss, has a rose, and I'm like, I didn't want to copy it. There's been many times I've thought, a love for a band tattoo, but then you got so many, I'm like, then I just didn't want to be a billboard.
Yeah.
And so I'm very particular if I'm going to put something permanent on my body. But we reached 50,000 listeners. I think what I do is I may do the scratch the vinyl.
I know, for real, man. I
you
was
guys.
thinking about that.
For you guys.
Yeah.
I think we should have like a blood oath of that thing. Like if we get 50,000, I think we all should get a scratch the vinyl tattoo, like something special that we can. So please make that happen for us because I like tattoos anyway. I'll put about anything on, but it would be special to me.
How about the red lipstick right on your ass? The red lips. There you go. We're going to do that.
All right.
That logo.
Kiss my scratch the vinyl. I think I've now connected the two together somehow.
Well, we've certainly found out from all the people that we talked to that there's a lot of people in the Kiss Army, is there not? Like, there's a reason why the Gene Simmons monster is consuming everybody a little bit at a time.
Growing up as a kid, it was because they were the shock factor on stage. And so there is something to that. I mean, the one thing you can never say is if you actually went and saw them live, it did blow you away. Yeah. Like, they gave you a show. It wasn't just the music, even though there's a lot of songs I do love by them, but maybe not the best lyrical band ever made, but there was no doubt you were going to see a show when you went to a Kiss concert.
We were talking about that one of our episodes. I do remember that because we were talking about Greta Van Fleet too, and like but they actually, I think their lyrics are pretty good, but can't really compare those two. But I think the show has a lot to do with it. I mean, look at
absolutely.
us. Look at us right here. Yeah. Hey guys, you like our shirts?
Pyrotechnics.
Hey, what?
Back then they're setting off bombs and flames.
Yeah,
like, you could feel the heat coming off the stage. I mean,
yeah,
that much hair and makeup wouldn't have surprised me at any time one of them hadn't caught on fire.
Man, just think about performing that way, though. I know people like we got masks or Halloween costumes, and
I mean, it happened to Michael Jackson during the Pepsi commercial.
Yeah.
definitely could have happened any time in a Kiss concert.
Well, James Hetfield as well, right? James got hit with pyro and got burned up a little bit too. Yeah, it definitely happens. It's but they set the bar. I mean, let's be honest, Kiss set the bar when it comes to like shows and a
live
big show
shows for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll say it. Growing up, the Alive 1, Kiss Alive 1, and Kiss Alive 2 were probably my favorite albums because that's what you got from the live shows. I mean, like I said, you don't have to love all their music, but you definitely remember going to a show.
Well, I wish we had Kiss as a sponsor, Gene Simmons. That would be really cool.
I know.
But hey, we can only dream, right? But until then, everybody, get us to that mark, and I promise you, we'll do something special. Randy will get the most amazing tattoo you've ever seen. It won't be the dolphin, even though I want the dolphin. Maybe unless it's like a dolphin in a Gene Simmons mask or Ace Frehley mask.
There you go.
Then
Dolphin with the Kiss makeup logo.
that would be epic.
It would be unique.
It would. Well, let's talk about another sponsor that we've been blabbing about for a while, which is Elegant Sasquatch. The Elegant Sasquatch, even though he's in New Jersey, he's a Lincoln guy. I grew up with him. He has an amazing product. He's really on the rise when it comes to beard products and balms and all of that. And it's just great to have him on board as well. It's fun doing the kooky ads with him. He always sends me these crazy scripts and then tells me to make magic out of it. So I definitely love doing that. And he was like one of the first ones to kind of hold on to me on all the podcasts. So no matter what, I just kind of take him with us. So thank you, Chris. We'd love to have you on sometime as well to talk about music. I know you dig music and wrestling and all that, so we could talk about a bunch of crazy stuff. And I could wear the El Podcastico mask once again.
Hell yeah. And speaking of, with the beard oil, you can wear the mask, then you still need the beard oil on because you're going to be breathing in there. You don't want all stanky. Working at the bar, I have you're kind of a counselor too. And I have a few people that go, I really want to find a girl and I'm like, well, your beard stinks. So you may need to go to this website and look it up. And I've had a few of them do that. And they're like, oh, it smells so good. I'm like, okay, well, there's one of the problems. Now we took care of that. Thank you, Chris.
Was the resident bearded guy on the show, Randy? I mean, you are the guy who can actually grow a good beard.
I recommend a proper trimming, and this is not growing a good beard. I couldn't grow a beard until I was about 40 years old, and when it came in, it was all gray. And so, fortunately, I like the gray look, so I don't mind looking a little older. I think it's because I look so young for a long time, and then when all of a sudden I grow in this gray beard, they're like, Randy, how old are you? And I go, well, take a guess. And they'd be like, well, you got to be like at least 40, right? And I'm like, yeah.
See, I like the gray beard too. I
like
love the gray beard. Yes, I think I can get a pretty good beard going since I was 42 as well. It's starting to come in real well. Yeah.
Not me. I have like a adolescent boy's facial hair, and it grows in these weird patches, so I have to like cut it a certain way because it's absolutely ridiculous. And I wish I could have like a man's beard and use that product. So Chris, if you have a product that makes it grow, I would love that, like a Miracle Grow product.
That's what she said.
Yeah, no kidding. Ask my old lady.
If you can make it grow, buy this beard oil.
Well, I hope our listeners are still following the show right now. So,
but thank you to our sponsors.
Yes.
Honorable mention is always it's always Matson's and Kelly's Pub. Those have they've been behind us. We've been behind them, and we've really been pumping. So I do want to mention them.
absolutely, Sarah and Brady doing so much for the music community, recreating rock and roll and introducing music to in a whole new different way again. And of course, Kelly's Pub. I mean, they helped us do our first benefit for the spina bifida, and the people really showed up and shelled out to support, that cause for us that day. And of course, big shout out to Chris and Dan for supporting pretty much everything we do when it comes to music at Kelly's Pub.
Well, you heard it here, everybody. I think that this is a great episode for you guys. I think that this has been a fantastic Thanksgiving hangover type episode for you guys, giving you guys some good feedback here on everything that we're grateful for. We will also have an episode coming out just like always on Friday, so Freaky Friday, 12 a.m. Central Standard Time. We'll have another episode hitting the old podcast ways, and we'll just keep knocking them out for you guys. We've got the best guests around. We're going to have the best bands, the best people. We're going to get some comedians, all sorts of stuff here, and we're going to be doing it here on Scratch the Vinyl. So thank you guys so much. You guys have anything to say in closing?
Well, I want to, last but not least, give a big shout out to my family, my kids, and of course my daughter and my mom just had birthdays. They always have birthdays right around here at Thanksgiving. So happy birthday, Melissa. Happy birthday, Mom. And, can't wait to, see the family, and just hope everybody be safe out there for the holidays. Drive safe, get home safe.
Agreed. Randy, I agree with you with family. I appreciate my entire family. My children, so grateful for them. My parents, my best friends, my fiance, my dirty house, because I have a house, so I'm grateful that it's dirty. I am grateful for where I work, for all the people that are there, for all the guests we have. I am grateful for the future, and I am so incredibly excited to see what's going to happen for everybody, not just with Scratch the Vinyl, but just in life in general. And thank you all so much for listening. You have no idea how important and how much we love you all so very much.
Since you brought up your family, can I throw a big shout out to your sister, Ingrid?
Oh,
who really
yes.
is Pearl Jam's #1 fan.
Yeah.
And if you don't ever see Ingrid, she wears a concert shirt almost every day. So if you want to talk about a fan that loves music.
She got a tattoo.
And she has a tattoo.
Yeah.
Stop down and see Ingrid as well. She is phenomenal, and I love all your family too, Brooke, and I wish them a happy Thanksgiving, as well as you and your family, Kane. I mean, your wife, she supports us being down here in the studio and is
ride or die.
She's your ride or die, and we can't thank her enough for her allowing us to absorb your time a couple times a week and make this show happen. So.
And a big shout out to my dogs too, who are very sad right now in the kennel, wanting to come hang out and sit on our lap. They give me a lot of joy. It was Teddy's 8th birthday yesterday, so we showered Teddy with gifts and gave him everything he wanted to eat all day. So it's just, I love my wife and kids. I really love you guys. I just feel like the universe did it again. I'm telling you guys, if you guys are giving up, don't give up. Don't give up hope. Keep fighting, keep going, because the universe is going to bring you together with the people that matter. And that's what has happened to me. So thank you guys for this show, and thank you for listening. We love you guys, and we'll talk to you again next week on
Scratch the Vinyl.